I have never been so scared. It was the night shift, of course, and I rushed around. I locked all the car doors. I made sure the windows were rolled up. I was terrified. Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Andrea O'Connor, and thanks for being here for my real-life medical and spooky stories. So this one wasn't necessarily medical, but it absolutely was spooky and scary for me. I think it'll be scary for you too once you hear the details. So this happened more than 20 years ago. We're talking the 90s. Yeah, I know, ancient times. We're back in the 90s now. And when I was in my 20s, I was hired at a local news station because that was my original career, was journalism. And because I was in my early 20s, my job was being the liver driver, is what they called it. It was basically the person that drove the satellite truck, set up the live shots, got everything ready, and then the crew would show up. So one night, they said, Andrea, we need you to head out to this street. You're going to set up on the canal, and you're just going to wait for us to get there. I'm like, okay. I usually have to head out there by at least 8 o'clock to get everything set up because the news would go live at 10. So I'm out on location and I'm on my two-way radio and I'm talking back and forth to the editing bay because the producer was there as well. And so we're talking back and forth on the two-way. Of course, this is before cell phones. And he's like, well, you know what's going on there? And I said no, because I didn't really pay attention to I just paid attention to loading my truck, doing my job. I wasn't really paying attention to what was going on in the news. And again, it was before the internet, right? He said, that's where they found the severed head. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Oh, no. A jogger had found a severed head. I don't know if it was in, near, or on the canal. You'll have to fact check me on this. And I was like, what? And and then they haven't found the killer yet. Like, it was a huge news story. So I'm rolling up the windows, locking all the doors. I'm still there all by myself. There is no one around. It was vacant lots, the canal, and me sitting in my little van. And they hadn't caught the killer yet. So the crew finally shows up. They do the story, and I begin to find out facts on the story. Well, it turns out there had been a couple killings in Arizona, and the killer got dubbed the Canal Killer. And do you know, it took over 20 years for law enforcement to catch this guy. Do you remember this?
I do.
You do. So my husband's here too, because you remember that story? That was so scary. And can you believe they put me live on where they found the severed head? By the way, that poor soul and victim that this happened to. But that was so scary. I've never forgotten that. But it was DNA evidence that actually led them to the killer. And I think they've made a documentary about this. And the creepiest part was he dubbed himself the zombie hunter. He had a fake, a serial killer mask and a fake police car with blood on it. In the back, it said zombie hunter. I mean, this guy had to be into, obviously, some dark stuff, clearly. And I guess more to the story is there were 2 victims, both young women. They were both killed. But thank God he was finally brought to justice. I know it was years, but from what I understand, he is now sitting on death row. And yeah, you can fact check the story. And that was something I will never forget. So I just wanted to say my channel is finally making the viewers happy, and you guys have all been a part of growing this channel, and I am extremely thankful. And so we thought we would try out some new different sets. And so if you kind of like what's happening here, I'm working with my son. So my son is Reese O'Connor, and you can check out his YouTube channel. It's Reese O'Connor, or you can check out the website. But anyway, I thought I would share that very, very spooky story. And by the way, thank you for all your comments. This is the most incredible community forming because the comments, can you believe these comments? I know you've read them too.
Yeah, they're incredible.
They're incredible. I mean, it's literally, my family is overwhelmed on what's going on with the comments. Oh yes, and I guess I'll answer, yes, I am a current practicing physician. I am a real person with real patients and real family members. I've had some people asking about who I am. And I guess it turns out that you have to have 100,000 subscribers before you can get the check mark where I can upload my credentials and my licenses. So hey, here's hoping if I ever hit those numbers, then I can upload my actual authentic credentials so maybe people don't have to ask, well, where do you work? Like, are you really a physician? And so I hope that helps too. And again, just thank you and keep the comments coming. Let me know what you think of this new set design, and I will see you on the next one.